Why do you still feel exhausted even after your body has rested? The Buddha taught that the heaviest kind of exhaustion is born from a mind that clings. This silent weariness does not disappear with sleep or vacations because it comes from an inner struggle that often goes unnoticed. Today, I invite you to look at this inner exhaustion without fear, to listen to it as a message, and to discover what it has been trying to reveal to you. Together, we will explore timeless teachings from the Dharma, simple yet profound, that have the power to lighten this invisible burden. Nothing will be forced. Everything will be observed with gentleness, mindfulness, and clarity. If these words resonate with you, write in the comments, "I choose to let go now." Subscribe to Dharma Light and stay with me until the very end, because a truth that few people truly understand is waiting for you. It has the power to transform your relationship with effort, rest, and even yourself. Welcome this journey with patience, presence, courage, and compassion. In the teachings of the Buddha, inner exhaustion is never seen as a simple physical imbalance. From the earliest schools of Buddhism, especially Theravada, suffering is understood as a deep tension within existence, rooted in attachment, ignorance, and craving. The Buddha observed that even when the body is completely still, the mind can continue running without rest, fueled by repetitive thoughts, endless expectations, and hidden fears. In the Dharma, this restless mental activity is regarded as one of the primary causes of invisible exhaustion. The original teachings explain that human beings become exhausted because they constantly resist impermanence. They want painful experiences to end. They want pleasant emotions to last forever. They want suffering to disappear as quickly as possible. This silent inner struggle consumes an immense amount of energy. Later traditions, such as Mahayana Buddhism, deepened this understanding by describing the illusion of a separate self that constantly feels the need to defend itself, prove itself, and preserve its identity. This mental construction, what we call the ego, becomes a continuous source of tension and therefore exhaustion. In the modern world, much of this wisdom has been forgotten. Exhaustion is often reduced to a lack of sleep or poor time management. People try to rest more without ever questioning the way the mind clings. Yet the Dharma reminds us that exhaustion often comes from inner overload, from unrecognized emotions, conflicting desires, and silent fears. Attachment to self-image, achievement, and the constant need for control creates a pressure that never truly fades away. This inner exhaustion is deeply connected to the suffering of modern life, the fear of not having enough, attachment to outcomes, the endless habit of comparing yourself to others. All of these nourish a constant state of inner tension. The Buddha taught that as long as the mind cannot clearly see its own patterns, it will continue searching for rest in the wrong places. Simply understanding this is already the beginning of healing, because awareness opens a space where exhaustion can finally be observed without judgment and gently begin to dissolve. Before we begin this first deep exploration, here is the path we will follow. Together, we will explore 7 principles of the Dharma that explain why inner exhaustion persists even after the body has rested. These principles unfold in a natural progression, leading from unconscious mental restlessness to liberating understanding. They are not rules, they are mirrors. As you observe them, you will begin to see where your energy is scattered, where it becomes trapped, and how it can slowly return to you. Inner exhaustion never appears by accident. It is the result of a mind that is constantly searching, comparing, resisting, and anticipating. As you listen to this first part, don't try to change anything. Simply listen. Allow each principle to resonate within you, even if it challenges you. The Dharma does not always comfort us immediately, but it reveals what has been hidden. And that light alone is already the beginning of profound relief. The first principle is constant mental restlessness. Even when you believe you are resting, your mind continues producing thoughts without interruption. The untrained mind consumes an immense amount of energy. You replay conversations from the past. You imagine future scenarios. You judge who you are and who you believe you should become. This constant mental activity creates a form of exhaustion that sleep can never remove because it is not physical. It is born from the absence of presence. As long as the mind refuses to remain here and now, it becomes scattered. and that scattered energy eventually turns into exhaustion. Simply recognizing this restlessness without fighting it is already the first step toward inner peace. The second principle is resistance to what is. A large part of your inner exhaustion comes from silently rejecting reality as it is. You wish certain situations were different. You wish certain emotions would disappear. You wish certain people would change. This resistance is often subtle, yet constant. The Dharma teaches that every time you inwardly say no to the present moment, you create tension. Day after day, that tension accumulates until it becomes deep weariness. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means no longer fighting inwardly against what already exists. When resistance begins to soften, a new kind of energy naturally appears, not because life has changed, but because you have stopped fighting against it. The third principle is excessive identification with the ego. You define yourself by your roles, your achievements, your failures, and your thoughts. The Buddha taught that attachment to a fixed identity is one of the greatest sources of suffering. When you believe you must constantly protect the image you have of yourself, you spend an enormous amount of energy. You want to be recognized, understood, validated. Every criticism drains you. Every comparison exhausts you. This fatigue does not come from other people. It comes from the endless effort of maintaining an idea of who you think you are. Realizing that the ego is simply a process, not a permanent entity, already begins to loosen this inner tension. The fourth principle is unprocessed emotional accumulation. Much of your exhaustion comes from emotions you have never truly allowed yourself to experience. Unexpressed sadness, suppressed anger, ignored fear. The Dharma teaches that whatever you refuse to feel completely does not disappear. Instead, it settles into both the mind and the body as an invisible burden. That burden remains, even when everything seems to be going well. Welcoming your emotions with presence and compassion allows that trapped energy to be released. It is not the emotion itself that exhausts you. It is your resistance to the emotion. The fifth principle is attachment to outcomes. You make great efforts while expecting a particular result. Recognition, success, security. When those expectations are not fulfilled, your exhaustion grows even heavier. The Buddha taught the practice of right action without attachment to the fruits of action. Living this way frees an extraordinary amount of energy because you are no longer constantly suspended by the outcome of everything you do. At this moment, pause for a second and write in the comments, what am I still holding on to without even realizing it? The sixth principle is confusing rest with escape. Sometimes you believe you are resting, but in reality, you are escaping. You distract yourself. You keep yourself constantly occupied. You fall asleep in front of screens. The Dharma reminds us that true rest is not the absence of activity. It is conscious presence. Without presence, even inactivity becomes exhausting. Learning to be fully here, free from distraction, creates a kind of rest that truly restores your energy. The seventh principle is forgetting impermanence. You exhaust yourself because you want everything to remain stable in a world that never stands still. The Buddha taught that everything changes without exception. Resisting this truth creates existential exhaustion. To embrace impermanence is to let go of the unnecessary effort of trying to control everything. That is where a kind of rest begins, one that sleep alone can never provide. Before we continue into this second exploration, here is what lies ahead. Together, we will uncover 7 deeper revelations of the Dharma teachings that are often misunderstood or completely overlooked. They explain why inner exhaustion continues, even in those who meditate or sincerely try to live consciously. These revelations are not meant to comfort the ego. They are meant to go beyond it. They reveal hidden paradoxes, subtle illusions, and liberating insights that can completely transform your relationship with effort, meaning, and life itself. This next part asks for an even slower kind of listening. Here, we are no longer simply recognizing obvious mental patterns. We are beginning to see what operates beneath the surface, where the ego quietly hides behind seemingly noble intentions. At this depth, the Dharma becomes a more demanding mirror, but also a far more liberating one. The first revelation is this: The desire to heal your exhaustion can itself become another form of attachment. When you desperately try to feel better, you add another layer of inner effort. The Buddha taught that even the desire for peace can become an obstacle when it is driven by impatience. The ego simply reinvents itself as a spiritual seeker, collecting practices, accumulating knowledge, always hoping for a future state of fulfillment. This subtle search keeps exhaustion alive because it refuses to fully embrace the present moment exactly as it is. Healing begins when the search itself relaxes, when you stop trying to fix yourself and simply begin to meet yourself. The second revelation is that inner exhaustion is often an invitation to die symbolically. In the Dharma, death is not only biological, it is also psychological. The ego exhausts itself, trying to survive exactly as it is, trying to preserve its stories, its identity, its wounds. Sometimes this exhaustion is simply a sign that something within you is ready to dissolve. Resisting this transformation creates profound weariness. Welcoming this inner death allows a simpler way of being to emerge. Less contracted, less defensive, more free. The third revelation concerns the invisible karma of the mind. Every repeated thought, every recurring judgment leaves an imprint. These imprints gradually become mental habits operating silently beneath your awareness. Even while you are resting, these patterns continue their work. The Dharma teaches that your exhaustion is not only created by what you do today, it is also created by what your mind has been repeating for years. Seeing these conditioned patterns without identifying with them weakens their grip and releases a deeply hidden source of energy. The fourth revelation is that inner exhaustion is sustained by the illusion of separation. As long as you experience yourself as an isolated individual standing against the world, you carry the entire weight of existence by yourself. The Mahayana tradition teaches the profound interdependence of all phenomena. When this truth is understood only intellectually but not deeply lived, the ego feels responsible for